Nothing in the world justifies rape. It does not matter the excuses and justifications given. It changes nothing because nothing in the world justifies rape. Yet countless people the world over are using deflections, silence, excuses, denials, and more to justify the mass raping of girls, women, defenseless civilians in Israel that took place on October 7th, 2023. Almost all, if not all, of the rape victims were murdered or taken into captivity. Some depraved people latch onto the absence of survivors as an excuse to deny that there was rape. But there were witnesses that did survive, and the forensic evidence is enormous. One witness observed a group of men and teenagers rape a woman, and then one man cut off one of her breasts while she was still alive. Other murdered victims of the mass rapes had broken pelvis bones and other serious injuries and traumas. A woman was gang raped, and the last man, still raping her, shot her in the head. Girls were found raped in their bedroom near each other with their pants and underwear down or off, with one having been shot in the head. The other girl, her sister, was badly bruised, abused, and murdered. And then there are the videos and photos of the atrocities, some taken by Hamas and Islamic Jihad themselves. There are the videos, including ones taken by Hamas and Islamic Jihad, of murdering and of murdered women and men, including people whose bodies were on fire. It is not necessary to support Israel or believe their actions in the war in Gaza are correct. It is easy for many to ignore the fact that Hamas and Islamic Jihad and many others committed atrocities against civilians in Israel and then went back into Gaza to hide in their multi-billion-dollar terror tunnels, intentionally using the civilians of Gaza above ground as the human shields. There's not a person alive, including the best military experts, that can answer how to fight terrorists without there being civilian casualties, especially when terrorists use civilians as the human shields. When terrorists construct multi-billion-dollar below-ground terror tunnels and no bomb shelters or any protections for the civilians above ground that they use as human shields, which is what Hamas and Islamic Jihad have done, then there most certainly will be civilian casualties. No matter the depraved excuses given, and there are plenty being given, it is the height of evil that millions of people, including millions of men, who should always be there to protect women and girls, instead are supporting the rapist. This is not about whether or not someone likes Israel or Jews. What does matter is that no girl, no woman, no human being should ever be the victim of rape and sexual abuse. It does not matter that because they were Jews or were on the land of Israel on October 7th, that the raped and murdered are being blamed for being raped and murdered instead of the actual rapists and murderers. It's a sick world where people make excuses for rapists and murderers and do not hold them responsible for their crimes. Hundreds of millions of people experience extreme suffering in this world without having the permanent welfare safety net that the UN provides to Gazans. And they do not go out and rape and murder. No one would excuse any of them if they went out and raped and murdered. But when it comes to Hamas and Islamic Jihad and the others from Gaza that raped, mutilated, tortured, and slaughtered, people cannot fall in line fast enough to support and defend these murderers and their crimes. Hamas and Islamic Jihad, after what they did to civilians on October 7th, raping, beheading, mutilating, burning alive, kidnapping, torturing, cannot be allowed to be in control of anything, just as ISIS cannot be allowed to be in control of anything. ISIS, like Hamas and Islamic Jihad, raped, murdered, beheaded, burned alive, kidnapped, and enslaved. There was no outcry when the world attacked ISIS in their urban strongholds like Mount Mosul, resulting in countless civilian casualties because the victims of Hamas and Islamic Jihad raping, beheading, murdering, burning alive, kidnapping, and other atrocities are mainly Jews. Hamas and Islamic Jihad, rather than receive condemnation, are in fact celebrated and defended. October 7th proved that even when defenseless Jewish women and girls are raped and murdered, few people have the courage, the moral fiber, the decency to oppose this evil. No matter how one feels about Israel, Palestine, or anything else, rape must never be defended, justified. excused or accepted. Unfortunately, the world is full of weak men, weak women that believe their politics, their religious beliefs, or their hatreds allows exception to rape and murder, or even encourages and promotes rape and murder depending on who are the victims. No political, religious, or any other belief outweighs the basic principle that rape and sexual abuse are crimes against humanity. Rape is evil. No matter who are the victims, nothing changes the fact that rape is a crime against humanity and God.